The ocean has a place where sound goes in and never comes back. No echo, no return. Just silence swallowing everything like a giant invisible mouth. This video asks one big question. How can sound disappear in a world where sound travels better underwater than in air? Submarines hide in these places. Whales change their paths because of them. And scientists still cannot explain some of the strangest ones. These pockets of silence are called shadow zones, and they act like holes in the ocean where sound drops away. By the end, what you learn about these silent pockets will stay in your mind long after the video ends. Stay until the final moment, because the biggest mystery comes at the end. Deep under the waves, another question rises. How can silence exist in a place built for sound? Whales sing across entire oceans. Dolphins talk across miles. Ships use sonar to see the ocean floor. Sound underwater moves fast, strong, and far. But shadow zones break all the rules. These zones are not small. Some cover huge areas. Some sit near the surface. Others live deep in the dark. In these places, sound bends the wrong way, sinks down, and then slowly fades into nothing. It's as if the water has turned into a wall that stops sound cold. Shadow zones were discovered by accident. Navy teams once tested long-range sonar signals, expecting loud echoes to return. Instead, certain spots stayed completely silent. The sound went down and then vanished. No echo, no trace. At first, the crews thought their equipment was broken. But after many tests, the truth became clear. The machines worked fine. The silence was real. This leads to a simple question. What makes a shadow zone swallow sound? The ocean is full of layers. Warm water floats above cold water. Salt levels change slowly with depth. Pressure rises the deeper you go. Each of these changes bends sound a bit. Usually, this bending helps sound move farther. But sometimes the layers line up in a way that is almost perfect for killing sound. Imagine a thin line where warm water sits right on top of cold water. The change is sharp. Sound waves hit that line and bend downward instead of bouncing back. They curve deeper and deeper until they fade. Above this curved path sits a quiet bubble, a shadow zone. Sound from above can't get in. Sound from below can't rise. It is a silent pocket trapped in the middle. But this explains only part of the mystery. Some shadow zones do not just weaken sound. They erase it almost instantly. These zones stay quiet during storms, during changing seasons, even during earthquakes. They barely move. They seem almost locked in place, like hidden rooms inside the sea. Some scientists believe the shape of the seafloor may also create these silent pockets. Deep valleys, steep walls, or oddly shaped underwater mountains may bend sound in strange ways. A wrong angle could trap a sound wave the same way a real cave traps echoes. This creates another important question. Why do submarines love these places so much? Submarines hide in shadow zones because sonar cannot see inside them. A ship above might send out strong sound pulses. Normally, the wave hits the submarine and bounces back as an echo. But inside a shadow zone, that echo never happens. The wave bends away and escapes into deeper water. The submarine becomes invisible. During the Cold War, navies around the world used shadow zones like secret caves. Some submarines slipped in and vanished from enemy maps for hours. There are stories of entire fleets hiding inside these pockets. Scientists wanted to understand the physics. Militaries wanted to protect the mystery. So data was kept private, and the zones became even more unknown. Then came one strange twist. Some shadow zones move. They shift as the water warms or cools. They drift miles over weeks. Some zones grow, some shrink. Climate change is warming the ocean unevenly, so these silent pockets are changing shape faster than before. Areas that were once loud with sound are becoming strangely quiet. Sonar maps used by the Navy are now out of date in many places. But the biggest mystery remains unsolved. Some shadow zones erase sound so fully that science cannot explain it. Even with perfect math, sound should be partly heard. But in certain places, sound doesn't fade slowly. It collapses instantly. Scientists have ideas, but none match what is seen in the real ocean. One idea says tiny layers of warm and cold water, stacked like thin sheets, break the sound wave into pieces. The wave scatters, spreads out, and dies fast. Another idea says tiny swirling currents. Micro eddies stretch and twist the sound until it fades. A third theory says the ocean may have shapes that trap sound like a sealed room. Sound enters, bounces around inside, and never escapes. A real example shocked researchers. In the North Atlantic, scientists sent a loud pulse of sound into a deep trench. It should have spread in all directions. Instead, it vanished instantly. Microphones dropped inside the trench heard faint echoes trapped deep below. But nothing made it back to the surface. It was like sound had been locked in a room. Animals seem to understand shadow zones better than humans. Some whales avoid these zones because their songs die inside them. They need sound to communicate, navigate, and stay together. Entering a shadow zone can confuse a whale, almost like walking blind. But other animals rely on shadow zones. Sperm whales dive into them to hunt giant squid. The silence hides the whale's approach. Squid cannot hear them coming. Tagged whales show strange curved paths around shadow zones, as if they know exactly where the silent pockets are. Even stranger, the ocean holds places that do the opposite. These are sound channels. In these channels, sound travels thousands of kilometers with almost no loss. Whales use them to talk across oceans. Navies use them to send messages far away. So how does one ocean have both sound highways and dead silent holes? The answer is simple. Smooth layers make tunnels. Sharp layers make shadows. Now comes a darker question. What else could hide inside a shadow zone? Scientists drop sensors into these places and sometimes hear strange sounds. Some sensors pick up long hums or low rumbles with no clear source. Others hear nothing at all, even when something large passes close by. This is why some call these places blind spots of the ocean. One famous event still puzzles researchers. A ship once tracked a huge moving echo, far bigger than a blue whale deep underwater. As soon as the object entered a shadow zone, the signal vanished. The team waited for it to appear on the other side. It never did. No one knows if it was a submarine, a giant school of fish, or something completely unknown. Shadow zones also create dangerous tricks. Sometimes a submarine inside one can hear sounds from hundreds of kilometers away, but cannot hear a ship sitting a few kilometers above it. It is like hearing someone shout from another city, but not hearing the person standing right behind you. This confusion can cause close calls and accidents. As the mystery builds, a final question rises. What does this mean for the future of the ocean? As the water warms, more shadow zones may appear. Some may join together to form giant silent regions. Some may break apart. This could change how submarines hide, how whales travel, and how scientists study the sea. The entire sound map of the ocean is shifting, quietly but quickly. Here's the final truth, the one that lands like a deep-sea shockwave. The ocean is not quiet. It only hides its noise. Sound moves through the water, like light moves through air, but it can vanish in a heartbeat. Deep under the waves is a world shaped by silence. Shadow zones act like traps, tunnels, caves, and barriers. They swallow sound in ways science still cannot fully explain. If this mystery pulled you in, like the video, hit subscribe and share it with someone who loves deep-sea stories. More ocean mysteries are coming soon.